and welcome to my channel All Stitched Up. I am Beth, and today I'm gonna actually do a Truth Tuesday, but it's gonna be a Truth Tuesday on a Friday. As you can tell, it is dark in my bedroom. It is 10:05 right now. It's like the one time I feel like I've had a moment to do one of these. Things have been really cray-cray the last couple months. The last time I did one of these, we were just getting ready to take over my husband's brother. Like, we were becoming his guardians, adopting him, the whole shebang. And that part, my dog wants to come in. Hang on one second. He wanted in here so bad. So, like I said, the last time I talked to you guys, we were just getting ready to get him. It was right before the holidays. And yeah, I can't start yawning. My husband went to California and picked him up and signed all the documents that we needed to sign with the judge on December 14th. And they came back on December 17th. So we've had Michael since the 17th of December, and it wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination. He had been in foster care since the beginning of November, the end of October, because his parents weren't fit. I mean, they were doing the best that they could, but they couldn't help him. So he was in a foster facility, like a group home, and the courts had contacted us saying that we were pretty much like his last hope. Like, he wasn't going to be able to go live with his mom and dad. Ryan and Michael's mom, they're technically half-brothers. Their mom has schizophrenia. So Michael had been living with his dad for a while, and his dad just can't take care of him. So with that being said, we brought him here, and it was tight, like financially. It's just tight in the winter for us anyways, because my husband doesn't work as much unless it snows, just because of the type of work that he does. And then also, it just, like I said, money's tight. You add a teenager to that equation, a teenager that eats this dog, I swear. Wilfred. He's shaking the whole bed. This video. Oh my gosh, you guys bear with me. Wilfred, that's enough. So, we did the best we could. We were doing the best we could in the beginning. Michael did come with a lot of mental baggage. He has some instabilities himself. So when we got him enrolled in school, they basically told us that he couldn't go to a mainstream school, just based on the things that he does and the things that he can't do. He can't go to a mainstream school because the sheer number of kids there just would send him into a panic attack. So he was going to a transition school, so just basically like a school with like 12 kids in it. And he seemed to be doing really, really well. I mean, they would send reports home every day, and every day we were getting good feedback. There was a couple days that he wasn't doing good in Spanish, but I mean, he's 16 years old. We weren't really expecting perfection. And then there was just a lot of bickering back and forth, you know, like a 16-year-old stubborn attitude versus us making sure that we're holding our ground and not letting him walk all over us. So there were some fights. There were some things that just weren't flowing very well, but I just kind of chalked it up to, he's a teenager, you know, that's gonna happen. So we just continued through that. And then one day I was at work and I got a message from him through Facebook Messenger, and he asked me when I was coming home from work, and I said, well, my schedule's on the calendar. It's like, just take a look at the calendar and that'll tell you when I'm going to work and when I'm going to be back. So he asked me if I would come home early. And I said, I can't. I'm going to be getting off shortly. I will be home soon. And I was literally going to be getting off work in like, I think it was like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So I told him that I would be home after work. And then the next message I got was the stoves broke. And I called bullshit. I was like, no, it's not. I thought he was just joking. Well, then he sent me a picture of the stove, and the glass that like covers the front, like where your oven's at, was shattered, like all over the floor. And I asked him what happened, and he said that he slid into the stove wrestling with the dog. So I got a little frustrated, obviously. I was like, well, first of all, you shouldn't be wrestling with the dog. I'm like, that's not what Wilford is for. Wilford is for support and emotional stability. He is not to wrestle. And like, you shouldn't be wrestling with him that hard anyways. And then my other thing was, our stove is like not in a spot where you could just slide into it. Like, we have a giant island in our kitchen, and our stove sits really close to that island, and there's just not enough running space, if you will, to get like a slide into the stove. So I come home, and he's mopping the floor. The front of the stove has cardboard all over it. He's like still sweeping up glass. And I'm just like, we have no money to go buy a new stove. I don't know what we're going to do. I've never replaced glass on a stove. I didn't even know if that was like an option. And I was just really upset. And I was even more upset because I knew he was lying about how he did it. And I just let it go, because really the ultimate point of all of it was broken. Regardless of how or why he did it, the end result was still the same. So he was grounded, like grounded. And this is the first time I've ever grounded anybody. Like, we have Ryder, he's 4. He hasn't been grounded yet. So I had some practice. And so he was grounded, and my husband Ryan and I, we just were talking, and he's like, this is hard. He's like, I didn't expect it to be this hard, and I didn't expect it to be that hard either, but I knew that it was going to come with some pushback, and I don't think we're ready for the amount of pushback that we were getting. And I mean, literally, I don't even know how to say this like nicely, but he was literally sucking everything we had out of us. Ryan and I weren't really getting along that great. Lots of bickering and arguing, and a lot of focus was falling off of Ryder, which was hard because we're still trying to get him potty trained. And I mean, if you guys follow my videos, you know he has autism, so I mean, that in and of itself creates like a whole new dynamic. And Ryan is not a believer, so sometimes our conversations can get pretty interesting. But he was like, where is God in all of this? And I'm like, dude, he's everywhere. His hands are touching everything about this. But I didn't have the right answer. My heart just didn't know what to say. I was like, maybe he's trying to make us stronger. Maybe he's trying to make us see through some things. I was like, I don't really know, dude. And I feel like I know now, and I will get to that. So yeah, just throughout that whole grounding process, it just got worse and worse. Lots of arguing. There were some threats made by him, and some uncomfortable comments made to me by him. And then last Saturday, again, still grounded, he and Ryan got into an argument. Ryan had said something to him as a joke, and Michael took it very seriously and offensive because he is sensitive. And Michael got really mad, and he threatened to knock my dog. He threatened to knock Ryan's teeth down his throat, and I was like, I'm like, we do not talk like that. I was like, you need to go to your room for a little bit, and you need to cool down. Well, he went to his room, and then probably I would say 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, he came out, put his shoes on, and he said he was going to leave. I'm like, dude, you're grounded. Like, seriously. He has probably never been grounded before in his entire life, because it was obvious he had never been grounded. So I told him no. He couldn't go on a bike ride because he's grounded. Well, Ryan said, sure, let him go clear his head. So we let him go, and right when he left, I was like, why do I feel like this night is going to end with the cops knocking at our door? And sure as shit, probably like 30 minutes later, there was the cop knock. And it was an officer at the door saying that Michael had gone up to the local drugstore, called 911, and told them that he was going to kill himself. I'm not trying to belittle what he said whatsoever, but just knowing him like we know him, we knew that that wasn't true. A lot of it is a cry for help, shock value, or attention. But obviously, you know, cops they're not going to say that. They're going to take it seriously, which they should. So the cop that was at our house had his bicycle in the back of his car, and then the other officer that was there had taken him to our local hospital. Well, one of our local hospitals. So Ryan and I got in the truck and we drove up to the hospital, and we were met by the psychiatrist or psychologist. I'm pretty naive on the difference of those, so I apologize. She came out to greet us, and she was like, well, he's here, he's safe, he doesn't want to see you guys. And I was like, that is totally fine, because right now I am kind of pissed. I don't know if I want to see him either. But since he had called 911 and since he had told them that he wanted to kill himself, he was placed on a mandatory 72-hour hold. He was transferred from the facility in our town down towards the Denver area, and he had to spend his 72 hours there. During that time, though, Ryan and I were able to kind of discuss some things, safety concerns. So Ryan called Michael's dad, and that is when we found out that Michael had thrown full cans of food at his dad. He had punched his dad. He had body slammed his dad. And also, he had some issues with animal cruelty. I won't go into the details of that, but it was pretty bad. And then a lot of issues came down after that, like safety issues for me, for our child, for our dog, for my husband. Like, we knew at that moment we legit could not provide the proper care that he was going to need to function. So Ryan and I made an executive decision that Michael would not be coming back to live with us. And I feel like a failure. My heart is broken into a million pieces. Ryan called Michael the other day, and the facility that Michael's at stated they weren't going to be releasing him after a 72-hour hold, due to the fact that he he has some very strong mental issues. So they're going to be keeping him for about a month now. And Ryan called Michael and talked to him about the situation, and he told Michael that he was not going to be coming back to live with us. And Michael understood. Ryan was like, I love you. I'm doing this because I love you. I'm sorry that mom and your dad never did this for you. But you're dangerous and you can't live with us. And Michael even admitted that he knew driving from California to here that this is the way it was going to end. He knew that we weren't going to be capable of helping him in the ways that he needed to be helped. And he said that that Saturday that he left truly because he wanted to hurt us. And that's scary. Like, hurt us how? Like, did you want to kill us? Like, did you want to beat us up? Like, what are you talking about? So Ryan's just heartbroken because he feels like we failed. And I feel like this is what God wanted. This was the plan, for us to still get him, for us to go through all this crazy crap, because we would be the only ones that loved Michael enough to make sure he got help. I really think that that's it. Like, all this pain and suffering that we were going through, and all this pain and suffering and confusion that Michael was going through, was to get him the help he needed. So that's where we're at. We literally just got a case worker manager assigned to us today. So yeah, I don't even know what this is going to look like. I have no clue what's going to happen. They talked about either a residential facility that he would live in, or finding him, what did they say? Specialized foster care. Our ultimate goal is to obviously keep him close to us. We don't want him to feel like we're abandoning him, because that's not the case. We just know that it's just not safe for him to live with us. We still want him to be a part of our family. You know, I mean, that part's not going to change. We're not going to give up our rights to love him and all that, but we just, gambling with our family just was not an option. So, any advice? Always welcome. Like, I just feel like a heavy, heavy weight on my shoulders. I'm tired. And I'm just sad. I'm very sad. Like I said, we're pretty heartbroken about this. But if anyone has any advice, like if this is something that you've been through, please don't hesitate. I always put my email in there. Feel free to contact me. As always, this has to deal with a child, and it has to deal with a family. So if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it at all. You can shoot me an email if you'd like. That's totally fine. I don't post these videos as a feel sorry for me thing. I post these videos because it feels good sometimes to just get things off your chest. And I love you guys. You guys are always more helpful than you even understand. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I will do better about keeping you guys posted. But thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your care and your love and your support and everything that you guys pour out. It's amazing. And I cannot thank you enough. And I will do better about keeping touch. So I will keep that done, because this video is a long one. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Spend some time with your family and your loved ones. Keep everyone close. Give them kisses and tell them that you love them. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.